What is up? And welcome to this week's edition of DLF Weekly. I am your host at Calvin and Hobby. You can find me on Twitter and obviously right here on YouTube. I am joined by the incomparable Tyler at DLF_Carp. And Tyler, you said it best a few seconds ago. What are we here to do today?
We are here to answer questions from the people. We will answer questions. That's what I love to do.
That is exactly right. We tossed it out on Twitter earlier. You did. We got a lot of great questions. We're definitely going to cover those. But we start with the signing of a 33-year-old tight end. Jacksonville Jaguars bring in Tim Tebow, not the quarterback, the tight end, into their system. Lots of questions about this today. It was fun. I think it's a fun signing. It doesn't matter in our dynasty leagues. But Tyler, do you think it's fun? Do you think there's any way that he, has fun and sees the field, makes the team?
I don't care. I don't care. I mean, I think I provide enough fun. The people should look to me for fun. This is ridiculous. Tim Tebow hasn't played in an NFL game in 9 years? Don't go add him to your dynasty team. Don't waste a roster spot on Tim Tebow. He's going to be 34 before the season starts. I mean, nobody cares about this. I mean, this is a news like TMZ, the Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless story. This is not a DLF story. So next question.
A lot of people refer to you as the Skip Bayless of fantasy football.
Nobody ever has referred to me that. No. Nobody has ever referred to me that way. My brain actually functions, unlike Mr. Bayless. His brain. I don't know about that, but no, my brain is actually currently working at this time.
Yeah, I know Skip Bayless is a loyal listener and watcher of our program, so very sorry, Skip.
I'm sure we just lost his viewership, and honestly, I think that's an improvement for us. That's what I think.
Well, we are just coming right out the gate, and here's what we're here to do today. We are here to, as Tyler said, answer the questions of the people. We're here to answer your questions because honestly, last Monday, we had so much fun doing it. We had so much great interaction in the chat. So many great questions. Let's just have the next, 45 minutes, hour, and we'll just answer as many questions, whatever it is that you guys want to talk about. We'll talk about it. And like I said, we threw it out on Twitter. We got a lot of great questions. We'll go through those. We also found out the answer to the question, when you donate money, where does it go to? I talked to Addison about that. And it does go right to DLF. So, hey, if we are doing a good job, it certainly shows those guys that we are. It's not required. You don't have to do it. But one of the guys said, hey, my wife's rich and I have, this money doesn't matter to me. Hey, if that's you, spend as much as you want donating to this show.
Sure. Yeah, I completely agree.
Who am I?
Yeah, sure. Donate to us if you like that we answer your questions. I'm totally fine with that.
Without further ado, we got a great one right here already in the comments section. The Woo Woo Kid 007. I drafted Michael Carter at 110 in a 12-team 1 QB league. Question is, can you make me feel good about that choice? Tyler, do you feel good, or can you at least make him feel good about his choice?
No, I'm sorry. That's not what you're going to hear. I don't lie to the people. And unfortunately, no, I cannot make you feel good about that choice. You just spent a first-round pick on a day 3 running back. Oh, let's see. Day 3 running backs picked in round 4. If you'd done that last year, you would have ended up with Joshua Kelly. Yay! The year before, Justice Hill. This is so exciting, right? I mean, there was another year, I believe, a long time ago before there was good rookie ADP, but where rookie running backs taken in the 4th were pushed up into 1st. You might think, okay, they had a good opportunity. You should have picked them. You would have ended up with Samaje Perine and Devontae Booker. Yay! No, I'm not making you feel good about this choice. Sorry. I feel very bad about it. I would have taken Rondale Moore or Elijah Moore easily over Michael Carter. I also would have preferred Trey Sermon. I like that the 49ers drafted him on day 2. He has superior draft capital, and I don't know. I kind of want the running back in San Francisco, not the running back on the Jets. So, yeah, and I'd even take Rashad Bateman over Michael Carter. As much as I hate Rashad Bateman, he was a first round wide receiver. I'm not taking a 4th round running back over a 1st round wide receiver. That was a good prospect coming in. So, no, sorry, I cannot make you feel good about it. And ask your question before the draft next time if you want. But yeah, no, I got to be honest, and I hate the pick. I'm sorry.
So nobody knows this yet, but very soon we'll be dropping. Me and Tyler broke down all 8 divisions. We spent a long time doing that. It was awesome. I can't wait till everybody gets to see it. But we did talk about this on our Jets show, and the one little glimmer of hope that I will say, I will make you feel at least hopeful about it. I don't know that I can make you feel good about it, but I can make you feel hopeful about it. There was a lot of buzz pre-draft where the Jets GM was talking really good about Michael Carter and saying that he liked him a lot, saying that he wanted him, he was looking forward to the possibility of drafting him. So I think there's something there. Like, we know they like him. And even though it's 4th round capital, at least we know that there is for this new regime, they like him and they want him to be on the team. So look, I think there's hope there. It's just, I don't know that I'm confident he's going to wind up being the best running back on the team this year. And then in that case, I just have a hard time believing he's going to pan out long term.
So let's just read. Let's go back to 2017. The last time a round 4 running back was taken this early, when Samaje Perine was drafted by Washington, and it looked like he had an open path to the top of the depth chart. Let's just read. Samaje Perine taken at 13 overall in 1 QB rookie drafts, May 2017. Let's read who was taken after that and see if you would have been happy with Samaje Perine. So Samaje Perine was taken at 13. 14, Chris Godwin. 15, Curtis Samuel. 16, Kareem Hunt. Happy? We happy with Samaje Perine or not happy? Now, if you'd taken him at 110 that year, you would have passed on. Let's just read some of the players. Oh, I don't know. Juju Smith-Schuster and Alvin Kamara. Not good. Not good. What do all these players have in common? They had more draft capital. The running backs were taken on day 2. Receivers taken on day 2, round 2 or round 3. Again, I don't really have anything else to say other than that. It's not a good bet to take a day 3 running back anywhere near round 1. You're really, you're probably going to end up regretting that decision. If you want to go back to 2018, Kalen Ballage was your round 4 running back of choice. Players taken close after that in 1 QB leagues. Lamar Jackson, DJ Chark. How we feeling about Kalen Ballage? Not so good. So I highly caution it.
Yeah, I think that's the best bet. I'm with you there. It's not likely that he ends up being, somebody that you're trusting in your fantasy lineup, but it's one of those traps we fall into, unfortunately, because we see the situation, we see the potential and the hype and all that, and it's hard not to get caught up in that. So
we get carried away. We sometimes forget that we're playing Dynasty. We think we're playing redraft, but passing up. I mean, I just think Rondale Moore and Elijah Moore have so much potential. I can't. Yeah. I just can't do it.
I have both those guys ahead of them too, and the people that you mentioned. Now, I did get Michael Carter at 210 in a 1 QB league. I like that.
A 210. I like that.
Yeah.
That is a good value. How did he fall to 210?
Yeah, that's I don't know. Crazy. I'm not sure. It's a league that I've been in for a very long time, and I don't know. I'm not sure how it ended up at 210, but hey,
I don't get that one.
I'm not going to complain too much.
That's a value. That's a value. For the record, I have him at 202. So
he adds drafted for need and like the situation, regret in hindsight. I think that's the right emotions to feel.
Yeah. Yeah. As Dynasty Outhouse says, our DLF colleague, draft for value, trade for need. That's your trade addict's motto right there. And I gotta tell you, 100% agree. I learned that from him 2.5 years ago, and once I heard that for the first time, I've never looked back. So yeah, no, don't draft for need. That's a big mistake.
That's true. Don't forget, you don't have to set a lineup for a very long time. Don't draft because you need to fill a spot on your team. That's not where we need to be. Okay, so we're going to go back and forth. If you're listening right now and you have a question, please go ahead, drop it in the comment section. Me and Tyler will get to it. And we're going to tell you exactly how we feel, especially Tyler. Exactly how we feel.
Yeah. Cal is definitely nicer.
I'll try to help you. I'll try to make you feel a little bit better, but I
don't care about that.
Yeah. Tyler doesn't care. I care about you, the people.
I care, but I care about giving the people the right advice. If it's mean, it's a little bit mean, but I want you to know that I'm going to tell you what I would do.
Yeah, 100%.
This is what I would do. If I were in your situation, I would do this. I wouldn't give advice that I wouldn't do myself.
So this one actually came in on Twitter. This is one of our Twitter questions. So I'm going to bounce back and forth between our Twitter questions and our questions coming in here to the comment section. This was from @ed_Franz.
Oh, I love
players you might be looking to sell high before the preseason starts, and their perceived value dips with competition. Who's in trouble of losing work that we aren't talking about? Tyler, who comes to mind when you think about this?
Trey Sermon, if he's really in the 5th round of startup ADP. I mean, we could come to training camp and Trey Sermon taking snaps with a third team, and then his value would go down. So that he's someone I would be getting off my team. Other one, I mean, that's the big one. I do think that I would have some concern with Curtis Samuel there. And Logan Thomas to some degree. I just think that that's an offense where you're going to want Gibson, you're going to want McLaurin, and everyone else they drafted De'Ami Brown, who I like a lot, actually, and they have Samuel and Thomas. I think they're all just kind of not that great, and they're all kind of going to cancel each other out, and you're really going to want McLaurin, you're going to want Gibson. So maybe Curtis Samuel, if people are still kind of taking the free agency bump that I wasn't really a big fan. And then a couple others. I mean, Tyler Boyd's not a sell high, but I'd be getting him off my team. And then, Brandon Cooks. If anyone believes that Deshaun Watson is going to be the Texans quarterback, and they think that they're getting that Brandon Cooks, then get rid of him. Because Brandon Cooks might be the one there, but he's the one with either Tyrod Taylor, who supports no passing weapons at all, or Davis Mills, who we have no idea. Is probably going to be bad. So I would be getting Brandon Cooks off my team as well. That's not really competition, but that's someone whose value will dip in the preseason. I'm not really thinking of anyone else who's like going to lose a preseason competition, like off the top of my head. There's no one really coming to mind. I don't really believe in Bryan Edwards or Paris Campbell. Those are guys, like, if they don't have a good preseason and good camp, they're going to become very irrelevant very fast. So maybe those two are guys I'd be looking to get rid of. But yeah, it's hard to project that. I think Trey Sermon is the big name for losing a competition that I can really think of. Usually it's hard to tell before the season starts. Usually week 1 tells us a lot of what we need to know.
Yeah, I guess what you're looking for is people who the idea is that they're going to have this like large target share or a large role in the offense, but we're getting ahead of ourselves maybe. Like we're saying like, oh, this is going to happen even though we haven't quite seen it yet. And Rashad Bateman that we talked about last week, comes to mind. All of a sudden he's getting 6 or 7 targets a game and you think, oh gosh, all of a sudden the value could go the other way. Or like a Clyde Edwards-Helaire where there was so much hype last year, and then all of a sudden you see something great week 1, but then the value drops, and you almost see it go the other way where he's kind of a buy now. So it's like you're trying to look for those players that you don't necessarily believe in the situation as much as maybe the hype machine on Twitter or wherever seems to build it up as, right?
Yeah. Also things that are going to change. I'm very confident that the Falcons running back room is not complete. Like, if anyone thinks that this is everybody, there's just no way. There's no way that you cannot have an NFL team with Mike Davis, Quadri Allison, Cordero Patterson, and UDFA, Javian Hawkins as your running backs. That doesn't fly. You have a not good starter and no backup. So that's not going to be their final running back room. They're going to sign somebody. I don't know who it is. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're either going to get Todd Gurley to come back there or they're going to do something else. Someone else is going to get released. This happens every year. Last year it happened with Leonard Fournette. Someone's going to get released from somewhere and they're going to end up there. So there's just no way that Mike Davis is going to get I think he will be the starter, but maybe not in the every down role that he's currently slated to get.
Yeah, another really good question comes in from Philip here. 12-team Superflex trade Russell Wilson and DeAndre Hopkins. Receive Stephon Diggs, Chris Godwin, Austin Eckler, and a 2023 second.
I'll take the not Wilson side. This is just too much. Like, for me, Godwin and second, it's not that far off. Well, it's 2023. I mean, I'd rather have Diggs than Nuke pretty easily.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I'm not sure Godwin, Eckler in a second is a lot to pay for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is quarterback, but we're talking about pretty young receiver, a back-end RB1 for the next couple of years, and then a second also, and I'd much rather have Diggs than Nuke. So, yeah, I just on the value alone, I'd probably have to take the Diggs side.
So how do you feel about it in the Superflex League, going down to where you have, looks like Kirk Cousins, Trey Lance, and Zach Wilson? I mean, those being your options, I guess that's the only part that would worry me a little bit, because it's very possible Kirk Cousins is your only one starting there.
Well, Zach Wilson is starting. I mean,
it's about bringing in a veteran. I mean, I don't know who they're bringing in to start over him, but it's
Zach Wilson's going to be starting. That's not. There's no one else on the roster. What are they going to bring? Who are they going to bring in? Who's available?
Yeah, I don't know. It could be a trade. It could be something like that. It's just Is Zach Wilson the kind of guy you draft to start day one?
Yes, actually, you do.
Not for me.
I think you do. Why not? Why not? What don't you like about him? Well, explain to me why you think Zach Wilson will benefit from sitting, because I personally don't think any quarterback really benefits from sitting.
I think every quarterback would benefit from sitting. I think you're right. Maybe he won't, but I think. I think some time to develop wouldn't be bad for all of them. That's a whole other discussion, though.
No, I totally disagree. But anyway, I think it's very clear that Zach Wilson is going to start. That has nothing to do with my answer to this question, though.
Yeah. Let's go. One of the best guys on Twitter right here, Munder Difflin FF.
Yes,
love this guy. Follow him if you're not already. He's on the clock at 2:05. Superflex PPR. Trey Sermon or Amon-Ra St. Brown?
This is not a decision. It's Trey Sermon. It's easy. So this is not close.
Absolutely
I have them
agree.
like 10 spots apart. I am so out on St. Brown. So out. The hit rate on day 3 wide receivers is straight garbage. I do not care that he's going to be Jared Goff's alleged number 1 target. By the way, in the last, I believe Mike Tagliere posted this on Twitter. So again, one of the best follows of all time. You should go follow him. But he posted, I believe it was in the last 8 years. 8 years. No day 3 wide receiver has finished top 50 in year 1. You think St. Brown's going to be the first? Because I sure don't. Not with Jared Goff throwing him the ball. So yeah, I'll take Trey Sermon easily. This is not a question.
I would take Sermon. I'm not as out on Amon-Ra, but I would take Sermon.
I lied. Also, I have them 16 spots apart, not 12.
Yeah,
it's not close.
Yeah, we've talked about this. And
you want to play the odds?
If you listen to our NFC North preview, you'll hear a lot more discussion about Amon-Ra St. Brown.
But yeah, 8 years, no. On 8 years, no top 50 finishes for any. People say Amon-Ra is going to produce right away. You take that, and just those people can believe that if they like, but evidence and the history say that that's the outlier of all outliers. So you can bet on that if you want, but I won't be doing that. And I don't recommend that you do that.
Not many people take their SATs in 3 different languages either, but Emmanuel St. Brown did that too. If you can do that,
I like that. I mean, I like him. I just the numbers are not there. He wasn't even that early in the 4th round either. Other receivers in the 4th round went above him.
This question also came in from Ed. I thought was really interesting. Is Emmanuel Sanders the best cheap buy low for contending teams? If he has any gas left in the tank, he could be in for a big year in that Buffalo offense. Who else do you like for cheap production? You go ahead and answer this one. I'm actually going to give me just a second. I'll be right back. Go ahead and answer.
No, he's not the best cheap buy low for what is this question? No. Emmanuel Sanders is done. No. So no, I will not be buying Emmanuel Sanders. I actually wouldn't even bother to put him on my roster. I don't want him. So forget him. As for cheap production, I mean, there's another receiver on that team I like better. Why don't you go after Cole Beasley if you're looking for cheap production? I think he could actually produce something. But Emmanuel Sanders, no, thank you. Other guys for cheap production, so is James White at the running back position. But yeah, no on Emmanuel Sanders. Stick with Beasley from that team. Don't bother with Emmanuel Sanders.
My favorite buy low is not going to surprise anybody. It's Josh Reynolds. He's practically free, and he's going to get a bunch of targets.
He's not free
in that offense.
He's not free though.
I got him in round 26 of a startup. This
not where he's going in ADP.
That's where I got him.
The ADP.
What would it cost you? A 4th round pick? It's not going to cost you much.
I mean,
you can look it up.
Considering how bad the 4th round is, I'll probably take a flyer on Reynolds over a 4th rounder. This class is garbage at that point.
So, yeah, I love him. I actually think if Emmanuel St. Brown is not going to do a whole lot in Detroit, maybe Brashad Perryman does.
No. That team is going to have don't hear what I wasn't saying. When I said that Amon-Ra is not going to finish in the top 50, I did not mean that Brashad Perryman will finish in the top 50. Or Tyrell Williams will finish in the top 50. I think that team is going to have 0 top 50 wide receivers. TJ Hawkinson's going to be the only one you want. I just stay away. Please listen to me. Stay away. You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there.
Agree with right here. I think Brashad Perryman, Josh Reynolds are good buy lows and could
Reynolds,
be really good.
Perryman, no.
And Emmanuel Sanders, honestly, if you think like that's an offense that's going to throw the ball, second most pass attempts last year, there's enough room for him to be productive.
How? Explain it to me.
Stephon Diggs is going to lead the team in targets. Who's going to be second?
Probably Beasley.
Maybe.
Beasley has 20 times more gas left in the tank than Sanders. You saw Beasley last year. Beasley was actually good. Sanders was washed. This is ridiculous. I don't understand why they signed him. So no, the answer to this question, which I said a million times, was no. No, do not buy Emmanuel Sanders. You're tossing whatever you're buying him for on fire. So no, don't do that.
By the way, this show is brought to you by DynastyLeagueFootball.com. Make sure you sign up for a premium membership. You have fantastic people there writing plenty of articles like my man Tyler here, and lots of all the great DLF staff members that you know and that you love. And, one of the coolest things I think that we talk about all the time is the forum section, especially the premium forum section.
Yes.
You can ask a lot of questions and get them answered by some very smart people there. And you can take advantage of that. There's the tools, the ADP data. If you're not signed up there, seriously, just go browse around and look. I think for $10 deposited on Monkey Night Fight, you get a free year membership. You absolutely should do that. It's a steal. So make sure you do that. Also, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel right here. Like the video, comment if you're not watching it live. Leave some comments in there telling us what you think about our little debates here as we're taking these questions. Back to the comments that are here live. And Dustin Brown chimes in, 12-team Superflex tight end premium startup, Kyler Murray or Christian McCaffrey.
I'll take Kyler. I want a quarterback. I want to start my team with a stud quarterback. And CMC, I mean, it's nice, but you can get other running backs. So there's a limited number of quarterbacks, especially good ones. So Kyler for me. And I don't really have to think about it.
Yeah, I think that's right. Where would Christian McCaffrey go for you? Where's that line in a Superflex league where you say, okay, it's time to take McCaffrey?
After the top 7 quarterbacks.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, Mahomes, Kyler, Allen, Prescott, Lamar, Lawrence, and Herbert.
So 108.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Let's go back to Ed. Ed had a bunch of questions for us. Who has a chance to
this
make
is not a
some
surprise,
noise?
by the way.
Huh?
Not a surprise that Ed has a lot of questions. I appreciate him.
Who has a chance to make some noise and emerge out of a murky situation in the coming months? So I guess talk a little bit about maybe crowded backfields, crowded wide receiver rooms that you think could kind of come up and stake a claim for a more valuable role.
We've already talked about the 49ers backfield enough, so we won't talk about that again. I would say Elijah Moore. On the Jets receivers. I think that he's going to, I don't know if he's going to be great in year one. We shouldn't expect too much from rookie wide receivers, I don't think. We were spoiled last year. I mean, Jerry Jeudy had a pretty good season, and we all thought he sucked because he wasn't as good as Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb. But Jerry Jeudy had 850 something yards. That's pretty good for a rookie, especially with a trash quarterback. So I would say look for Elijah Moore to have more of an impact than I think we think. Maybe some people think year one. I'm so out on Denzel Mims. I've never liked Denzel Mims. I don't like him now. So that's part of why I expect Elijah Moore to have a bigger impact than maybe some people do.
Yeah, I'm really big on Elijah Moore. That's somebody I'm trying to get everywhere because I think people are down on him right now. And
yeah, they are.
They're just thinking the same old Jets, and they're thinking about what the Jets have been without really thinking through what the Jets are now.
They're not thinking it through. Yeah. They're not, because we don't know what Zach Wilson is going to do. Zach Wilson, I mean, to me, it cannot be worse. Sam Darnold, we had 3 years of failure. 3 years of failure that took the whole offense down with him. Now, was a lot of that Adam Gase's fault? Probably. But Adam Gase didn't make Sam Darnold throw the ball badly. There were other issues. So I think it's not the same old Jets. A different coaching staff, a different quarterback, different receiver. So maybe it will be different. There's no reason to assume that it's going to be the same.
Yeah, 100% with you here. Let's Ed's last question.
Oh, same
Jets
topic.
Cut Crowder seems like a strong candidate. Where do you see him going? So in a similar vein, I'm not sure Crowder honestly would create that much interest in free agency, to be honest.
Oh, I totally disagree. He would have a lot of interest. That's the kind of guy you need. That kind of slot receiver. I mean, really, at least to me, what is the difference between Jamison Crowder and Tyler Boyd? Nothing. There's no difference. They're the same.
Where's he going?
Tennessee, that's where he's going, because Tennessee completely botched the draft. They didn't take any receivers, and I think that they need another receiver. I mean, they have nothing. They have nothing other than A.J. Brown. I would put him in Tennessee. That's where I would put him, because they don't really have anything. I mean, Josh Reynolds, whatever he is mostly, I believe, plays as an outside receiver. I mean, he can play all the positions, but he would play as an outside receiver if they signed Crowder. And then, they would be able to put Des Fitzpatrick on the bench, let him develop. Because I don't really think Des Fitzpatrick is ready to play. I don't know about you. So, yeah, not great.
Interesting. Michael Harris comes in and he says, 12-team Superflex League where I have a 102, 103, 104, and 106. Congratulations there, Michael. Very nice. This was after a startup where I loaded up on 11 first-round picks for the next 3 years. Whew. I have no QBs in a Superflex League. That's not ideal. But strong receivers. What to do?
Take quarterbacks.
I would probably say at 2, 3, and 4.
No, not for me, just because I don't see the value at 4. But I'm taking Fields and Lance at 2 and 3. I mean, I'm taking Fields and Lance at 2 and 3 no matter what my team needs. So I have 5 quarterbacks. I'm taking Fields and Lance at 2 and 3. or trading out for Hall. I'm not passing on Fields and Lance. I have them in that order, Fields, then Lance, but they're my clear 2 and 3 in Superflex. There's just no doubt for me. And then, I mean, I'm just not – I like Zach Wilson, but I'm probably not running to take him at 104. I think I would prefer – I would take Jamar Chase there personally. I don't care about need, so I want the generational receiver prospect that I think, Chase is. Not a big fan of taking tight ends early. And then at 106, I would take, probably if Harris falls there, I would take Harris. If he doesn't, I'd probably go. I mean, Zach Wilson will still be there at 106 almost for sure. So you can leave this draft with Fields, Lance, Chase, and Wilson. You got your quarterbacks, you got a new receiver, and then you still won't have any running backs, so you won't be so great, but you have more first-round picks. So you'll be able to get those running backs when you're starting to contend. So that's what I would do. That's probably my plan. I always draft for value, but, I like getting the young players here, probably passing on a running back if I'm in that kind of rebuild.
If this was a tight end premium league, I would potentially use that 4 on Pitts, but the reason why, so I kind of had the same answer, but it was just getting at it a little bit of a different way. But if you leave with Fields, Lance, Wilson, and then one of Chase or Harris with that 106, then to me, like you did really well. Like that's a win. You're going to get 4 players that you're going to love. And this is almost like one of those productive struggle type strategies. It sounds like he loaded up on a bunch of picks.
Exactly. Yeah.
Build a team that's going to be really good for a long time. Looks like he had strong receivers. So that's a really good, to me, that's my favorite way to do a startup.
People have Pitts too high though. Like
in a tight end premium, I like the idea of getting him there.
I ranked 340 something players. Like it's just where he comes out. It is what it is. It just, he comes in at 7th in the rookie class, even in the 1.75 tight end premium trade ag scoring. That's just where he comes in. And I have him as tight end 3, and that's still where he comes in. So, tight end 3 in Dynasty, like overall, just behind Kittle and Kelsey, that's still where he comes in. It just works out that way. I think a lot of it's the way I value quarterbacks, but there's a lot of quarterbacks in front of him. And I'm also big on pushing the running backs up the board because there just aren't that many.
I think if he's Kelsey and Chase is Hopkins, you would take Kelsey in a tight end premium to me over Hopkins.
Here's the problem though. If you take Pitts much higher, he has to be Kelsey. Otherwise you let your pick on fire. Like if you take him at 104 and he's like Noah Fant or TJ Hawkinson or even Evan Ingram with his rookie season, even if you take the best season of all those guys, that was a horrible pick. He has to be Travis Kelce if you take him at 104. So that's why I'm just not willing to do it. Whereas if you notice with the value of like wide receivers, they don't actually have to be that good. They don't have to. You can be a dynasty. If you're as young as Chase, you can be a dynasty wide receiver 1 for a long time without actually ever having a wide receiver 1 season. Multiple people have done it just in recent memory. So, I mean, CeeDee Lamb didn't have any wide receiver 1 season as a rookie. And look at where he's valued. So I'm just saying people will give up on a tight end very quickly. If he's not Kelsey, he'll lose a lot of his value. Whereas if Chase is just really good, he'll keep it. That's why I would always go with Chase.
This is a really good question from Jordan. Great guy, Jordan Vanek. A year goes by. Who's the 1-1 in non-Superflex drafts?
So what are we talking about here? Are we talking about who's going to be the startup in a super? Yeah. So we're talking about who's going to be the overall 101 in startups next year.
Kyle Pitts.
Well, that's not possible. So, like,
I'm kidding.
That's not possible. So let's look at. I mean, looking at it, there aren't that many contenders. I think at that point, Christian McCaffrey is going to be too old.
Yeah,
he's already going to be 26. I just think at the way we've gone, the dynasty community is not going to accept a 26-year-old running back as the 101.
No.
So I don't think so. I think really there's 3 contenders for me, realistically. Jonathan Taylor, and then AJ Brown and Justin Jefferson. Those are the big 3 that I could see. Jonathan Taylor is the most likely. If Jonathan Taylor has a good 2021 season, he'll be 23. He's JT. Everyone loves him, and he'll be coming off 2 good seasons. He'll be the 101. He's young. He'll have 2 seasons of production. Someone like Najee is not going to pass him because he's older and would only have had 1 season of production. So I would say JT is the favorite. If Justin Jefferson duplicates last year, he would also be in consideration. And if AJ Brown has, there's no one else there, if he has a season with like 160 or 170 targets and just like blows the doors off and is the wide receiver, if let's say AJ Brown is the wide receiver 1 in fantasy this year, I think he would have a great case. Those are the 3 that I think are likely, because a lot of the other top guys, Alvin Kamara is going to be too old, Tyreek Hill too old, Dalvin Cook too old. There's other guys like Stephon Diggs too old. So you'd be looking at other contenders would include Cam Akers if he really does really well, and CeeDee Lamb as well would be another one. But there aren't that many options.
Akers is an interesting one that I wasn't really thinking about right there, but that could be he could definitely have that kind of ascent. The thing that worries me a little bit about Jonathan Taylor is just, can he catch 40, 45 passes this year? If he can, then absolutely. Then he's going write it in. He's the 101 next year, no doubt.
I'm worried about that with everyone, though. I mean, Akers didn't catch any passes as a rookie. Dobbins is playing with Lamar, who doesn't throw to the running back at all. DeAndre Swift, I'm very confident he's going to catch passes. Problem is that the offense is going to be so bad that he might not score any touchdowns. And then, who else am I leaving out, really? Those are the running backs in contention. I guess Saquon could do it.
If he stays healthy all year, then to me, he's the favorite.
I don't think so, though, because I just think that we've gotten to the point with Saquon. He'll be 25 next offseason. And we'll be at the point where I think we're at the point with Saquon where people will not completely forgive his injury history. Like, I don't think they might forget it, but I don't think they'll completely forget it. That's why I don't think if JT is even anywhere near Saquon in production and stays healthy, like he's always done. JT's never really missed any games ever in college or the pros. So I just think for me, JT would be the favorite.
Vic is on the clock, and I know where you're going to go with
Kadarius Toney.
Kadarius Toney or Amon-Ra St. Brown.
We don't have to go over this again. Round 1 versus round 4, Kadarius Toney. Easy. Next question.
I actually agree it's Toney, but it's close for me.
Close.
It's close for me.
It's not. Round 1 versus round 4, you're talking hit rates that are 10, 20 times. Like, I just can't do it. I don't care how good Amon-Ra St. Brown is. I can't do it.
I liked Amon-Ra more pre-draft, and I just have a hard time flipping that just because, I know.
To it. That's the right way to play. So we got to get used to it. There's a lot of people who have take lock, and the hit rates are just so bad for day 3 wide receivers. They're literally like vomit inducing. So it's Toney, easy. No question for me.
How about this one from Ryan Burris?
Question.
Etienne starts in Jacksonville, or does James Robinson keep it? I have Carson, David Montgomery, and Leonard Fournette. Do I keep Travis Etienne or try to flip for a running back?
I mean, I would keep Etienne. I wouldn't trade him away. I think that you're going to see a committee here. I think you're going to see Etienne with the receiving work, which is a higher value touches. I think he's going to be the guy you want long term. I don't think that James Robinson's going away, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I think you're going to see, I mean, I mentioned something along the lines of an Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram split, but that's been said so many times by so many people, although that kind of gives me a little bit of belief in it if everyone kind of feels that way. But yeah, I don't think that James Robinson just keeps Travis Etienne off the field. That's not going to happen. Etienne is going to get on the field.
And I would keep him. I'd absolutely keep him. Yeah. To me, he's he's one of the elite prospects in this draft. I absolutely want him. And, I look in that split. Nobody ever really wanted Mark Ingram that much, but everybody wanted Kamara. And that's the role that we think he's in. So that's who I would want. I want Travis Etienne. He's where in your dynasty rankings?
Where? Like
15-ish in running back?
RB 16.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is good. If you think about it, right? I mean,
very
that's good. There's a lot of good running backs. So, I have him ahead of Miles Sanders. I'm ahead of Joe Mixon. So, I'm not out on Travis Etienne.
Good question here of value came in from Twitter. Superflex 104 Aaron Rodgers.
You mean Aaron Jones?
I'm sorry, Aaron Jones.
It's okay. It'll be the same answer either way. It's 106. This is not close. I don't want Aaron Jones. I don't want old. Aaron Jones is old. Aaron Jones is older than people think. He's already 26. Running back already 26. Now Aaron Rodgers is who knows where. Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back to that offense. Yeah, Aaron Jones could get more rushing work, but his touchdown upside goes away. You want him with Jordan Love? You want a running back in a Jordan Love-led offense? Not for me. So, yeah, 106, we've listed the guys you're going to get. I'd rather have any of the top 4 quarterbacks. I'd rather have Najee Harris. I'd rather have Jamar Chase. I'd rather have Kyle Pitts too. So, yeah, not close for me. I'll take the pick easy.
That question came in from D. Keezy, Dynasty Football Only on Twitter. This one comes in from Nick Pinikoff, Atlanta Falcon fan, who asked, if Julio Jones does get traded, then how high are you drafting Calvin Ridley? Does it change for you?
In Dynasty?
I guess obviously in a startup.
In Dynasty, right? Okay, so in Dynasty right now, he's my wide receiver 7. So I don't know how much higher I can really be. Maybe he'd move up one spot to 6, but he's not getting higher than that. The top 5 are not moving. So maybe a little bit higher, but I'm already very high on him. I have him at wide receiver 7. In redraft, though, I already have him at wide receiver 6 in redraft. So if Julio Jones got traded, he could be, we could be talking top 3, right? Who would you take ahead of him? Not many people. Maybe top 4. I haven't really ranked Devontae Adams because I just don't. He's either 1 or 12. Right. There's no in between. He's with Rodgers. This year he's 1. If it's with Love, he's 12. So so he's a mystery box. But for this year, I would have Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, and AJ Brown as of now, given what's on that team or lack thereof, ahead of him, and he could come in right after them at number 4 if they trade Julio. I would be expecting a monster year from him, personally. Very
good question. Yeah, I think there's a Jeff Mueller chimed in and said he right after Kyle Pitts. I think it was just a little bit of a dig at Nick Pinikoff there. But yeah, Calvin Ridley in there, that offense with Kyle Pitts is going to be a lot of fun. This one came in from Third and Short. Jonathan Taylor or James Robinson, Jerry Jeudy, and 2022 first.
And he said it was a 12-team super flex, I believe. So
full PPR dynasty super flex.
Yeah, this is not enough for Jonathan Taylor. I'll take Jonathan Taylor. This is a bunch of maybe for my dynasty RB2. So no, I'll take Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, it's gosh. Here's another question. We kind of answered this.
We answered this.
Yeah, do you draft Pitts or Harris in Dynasty?
Harris.
Tight end premium, I'm going Pitts. But
it's just not going to work out that way. If you look at the way the trade analyzer does things, or if you actually, when you actually get to startups, it's not going to work out that way, given where if you want to draft it that way, you're basically saying that Kyle Pitts is your tight end 1 or 2 or close to it, just given where Harris is in startups, given where he is in 1 QB startups. you would have to almost value Pitts as your dynasty tight end 1. So
I think he is likely to be that in a year.
Yeah, but the problem is that you're passing, and the reason I don't want to do it is you're passing up on a 300 touch season from Najee Harris.
You are, but next year he's going to be a 25-year-old running back, and we've already talked about that, right?
Yeah, but 24. But we know these things. But yes, I would still take the immediate touches from Najee Harris. You're going to get 300 touches. I just can't pass on that for a tight end who, I mean, what is Pitts going to do as a rookie? If he's a mid tight end 1, he's not that valuable. Like, you're telling me I can get a workhorse back right now, and all I have to do to pass up on like a mid tight end 1. It's not a hard decision for me. I don't get it. It's weird because I love Kyle Pitts as a prospect, but just the value is just not there. Like, just team wise compared to a workhorse running back. There are very, very few of those. Like, there's like 4.
Our buddy Mike Valverde chimes in. Trey Sermon, top 3 running back rookie.
No. Could be. No. Don't do this.
I'm not sure how to say this name. Acropolis.
Definitely another one who's asked me questions before.
Yeah, what's up, Carp? You prefer Rashad Bateman or Terrace Marshall Jr. at pick 112?
I'll take Bateman. I don't really want Terrace Marshall at all. Injury scare right before the draft, fell in the draft. And people are saying, oh, Carolina, great landing spot. Really, it is. It is. We had 2 years of Sam Darnold. It's great. After 3 years of failure, now we want players to go with Sam Darnold. He's stuck behind Christian McCaffrey. They just picked up DJ Moore's 5th-year option. Why is this a good landing spot? I don't understand. So I'll take Bateman. But I probably wouldn't want either of these guys. Well, maybe. It depends on the format. But between these two, it's easily Bateman.
Our buddy Matt Too Sporty.
Love him.
Just made a trade. 12-team Superflex. I sent Dak, Debo, and 2022 second for Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, and Irv Smith.
It's tight end premium. If it is, then I'd easily take the Herbert side. I'm not that high on Debo. I just traded Debo away in the Trade Addicts 8 League. I didn't get that much for him, but I'll take the Herbert side here. Keenan Allen is going to produce more. I like Debo, but I just think that Debo is one of those players who's better for the NFL than he is for us. Ayuk is the one there to me, and I think that debate has been decided. It wasn't. Remember, people are saying, "Oh, Ayuk only did well when everyone was injured." It's not the Ayuk Debo splits that were the problem. It's the Ayuk Kittle splits. And when Kittle was there, nobody else was good. So if I had to bet on one of those two, it would be Ayuk. I'm pretty out on Debo. So I'm not sure that Trey Lance is going to increase the volume in the offense. He might produce a lot on the ground. I'm very excited for Trey Lance himself, but I'm not sure that I'm that excited for his third receiving weapon. So just because I'm pretty out on Debo, pretty in on Keenan Allen, I have as a wide receiver 1 this year rankings. Like for redraft, I'm beyond in on Keenan Allen in 2021. I'll take, even though Keenan Allen just turned 29, I'm probably accepting that Keenan Allen is dying on my roster. I'll take that side.
We got about 10 minutes. I'm going to go lightning round here. So like 20, 30 seconds an answer. This is from Yogi Berra, basically. In 2-quarterback dynasty, how do you rank Mac Jones, Devonta Smith, Javonte Williams, and Travis Etienne?
Etienne, Javonte, Jones, Smith.
Ooh, I might flip Jones and Smith there, but it's close.
Quarterback. I don't want any receiver. No, the receiver that has a lot of question marks. No, not for me. I'll take the quarterback.
Does Gardner Minshew still have a trade market that could matter? Is the stash still a stash? I like that.
I mean, sure, in Superflex, you can put him at the back of your bench, but I think his time as a starting quarterback's over.
Me too. Fun while it lasted, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, I loved him, but yeah, no.
On the clock, 102. Harris or
We
Pitts?
answered this already, Harris. Next.
Correction to the above, 13 picks over the next 3 years. Ooh, strong receivers and Fant is a tight end. You love Noah Fant. Productive struggle plan. See, this is what I was saying. This is a great strategy. I love this strategy.
I like it. Stockpiling those. You're gonna love those 4 2023 firsts when you get there. Ooh, you're gonna love those. You're gonna love that running back class. Let's move on.
Why don't you like Denzel Mims as a person?
Not very. I mean, I don't even know him as a person, but he's not very good. He fell in the draft for who knows why. Then he does nothing as a rookie. Nothing. He had plenty of opportunity and he did nothing. And now they sign another receiver in free agency, Corey Davis, who I think is very underrated. If you look at Corey Davis, I wrote a whole article on Davis versus Mims. Look at Davis' efficiency metrics. He improved every year he was in the league. He was getting better. This last season, he was actually very efficient. He was one of the more efficient receivers in the league. I think Davis is way better of a player than Mims. I think Davis is what we would want Mims to be if he actually hit. And then now we have Elijah Moore there too, who I think was drafted earlier than Mims, second round, but he was early and Mims was late in the second. To me, he's the 3 there. And I don't want the 3. Even if I like Zach Wilson, I don't want the 3rd receiver. So I'm pretty out. It's more because I'm a big fan of the other 2 players, actually. More so than I don't hate Denzel Mims, but I like the other 2 guys they have better.
I just don't think we know enough. 12 teams, Superflex, 1.5, tight end premium, IDP, 1, 2, 3, have 1, 4, 1, 9, 2, 2, 2, 10, and a few picks after. Have Lamar, Cousins, Godwin, Galladay, Sutton, Chark, Dobbins, Monty, Kittle. What should I target those first? So first, I think the first answer is don't worry about who you have now.
Exactly.
With who you target. That's the first thing. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I understand it, but again, you don't have to set a lineup until like way later. Draft for value.
Always.
So at 104, I think that's where, again, like I think I would go Pitts there in tight end premium. You would say Harris?
Chase.
1.9, that's getting into what the like Rondell Moore range.
Yeah, that's not, I mean, maybe that's, to me, that's the Javonte Williams range. What I would do here is I would be trying to trade up personally. I'd be trying to package some of those picks or something, trade up a little bit. And if you can get into like 1.7 and get Zach Wilson, I might do it. It's possible Zach Wilson falls to 109, but I don't think he will in almost most leagues. So I might be looking at that. Possibly he falls to 109 though. It's very possible. And also I would consider trading up into the top 3 to get Lancer Fields. I'm so in on Lancer Fields. So whatever it takes, I'd consider paying it.
I had the 202 in a league, and I ended up getting Elijah Moore. That was obviously I felt great about that.
I'm fine with that.
Somewhere in there. 210. I mean, you're thinking about like
I'm not that in at that.
Maybe Tony falls. Maybe Tony, something like that.
I don't think Tony's going to fall that far. In some leagues he might, but I don't think so. It's a little far.
Probably a wide receiver though. Like there's probably a wide receiver somewhere around there that you're looking at, right? Eskridge, maybe something like that.
I have Amari Rodgers at 210 in my rankings, so that's someone you could get there. De'Ami Brown, I have 1 spot ahead, so maybe you get a slight deal there. I don't know. That's the kind of players you're looking at.
Good stuff, Matt.
We did this one already.
We did.
Yeah.
He came in. Look at Matt.
He must have sent it twice.
He did. Okay. Woo Kid. What day 3 skill position player has the highest year 1 upside, and why is it Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Oh, it's Michael Carter. It's such an easy question. It's Michael Carter. I mean, we talked about why. There's no one else on the depth chart. It's Michael Carter.
Ed appreciates it, and Ed, we appreciate you. Thank you for sending in those questions, and everybody who has.
You agree, right? It's Michael Carter, right?
Yeah, it's Michael Carter. Yeah. I would definitely have Carter over Amon-Ra.
Oh yeah, that was a layup. That was an easy one.
Absolutely, no doubt. Let's see. Got time for a couple of more here. Point per completion. Dynasty League. Point per completion.
That is a lot of. Think about that.
Dak and the number 2 pick in the draft. I don't know, Skid, if this is
super
flex.
Point per completion.
If it's not super flex, then you're not thinking about a quarterback here.
No, you wouldn't think about a quarterback because even though all the quarterbacks score more, the difference is kind of still the same. But if it's not a super flex, I mean, you're looking at Chase or Harris again. And if it is, then you're taking Fields, especially in a point per completion. Fields is going to have much more passing volume than Lance.
Yeah.
Point per completion?
Skit.
That's crazy.
If you're not already following us on, oops, I gotta get rid of that. If you're not already following us on Twitter, send us that message. Like, I need to know more about your scoring system to understand.
At me on Twitter and just put it out there so everyone can see it.
Yeah,
that's the best way to talk to me is just at me.
Yeah. Jazz, where are we drafting Tim Tebow?
We're not drafting Tim Tebow. We'll get to a real question.
We're waiting until championship week and adding him to our roster for good luck.
Good luck. Yeah. Let's get to a. Oh, we answered this.
Pick Bill McCaffrey or Murray.
QB. For me, it actually would be Kyler Murray.
Number 2?
Yes.
Okay. I go Josh Allen, but
I'm fine with that. Those are the 2 I would consider.
Jamar Chase or Lance, 10-team Superflex.
10-team Superflex. 10-team Superflex, the quarterback scarcity is not there. So I'd go Chase.
Me too. Absolutely.
That's a big difference.
Me too.
The number of teams in a Superflex is very important. 10-team Superflex, 12-team Superflex, and 14-team Superflex are like completely different games. They're very different. People underrate that.
Yep. And Pitts or Chase, we talked about this a lot.
We talked about that a lot.
I would take Pitts. Yeah. I would take Chase in a normal PPR league. If it's premium, I would go Kyle Pitts. So with that was like an hour of answering questions. That was so much fun.
We did not get to them all.
But every second of that. Didn't even get to them all.
No, we didn't even come close to getting to them all.
No.
I think we underestimated how many questions were going to come in during the show.
Yes.
I was panicking before the show. We didn't have any. We had like a few questions, and then during the show there were like a lot of questions. So we appreciate all of you for tuning into the show and asking your questions. Hopefully we answered them. If we didn't answer them this time, don't worry. This is gonna, we don't know exactly the details, but this is gonna be a regular thing.
Yeah, we're absolutely doing it 100%. We're finalizing those details.
We're finalizing the date.
Subscribe so you don't miss anything. Turn on the notifications so that it alerts you when we do go live. And you get those questions and those comments in. If we didn't get to it, hit us up on Twitter. We'll definitely be more than happy to answer those there. And yeah, I think this is a lot of fun. I can't wait to do this again. And yeah, we'll keep you guys updated. Stay tuned, stay posted to our Twitter and all that as well. Tyler, any last words?
No, this was great, and I'm glad that this is going to be a regular thing. I love answering questions. It really makes me happy to help people out, even if I could be a little bit mean. I mean to be helpful. I just want to be honest. That's all it is.
That is true. You really, I always know that's where it's coming from with you. So definitely, I appreciate the time, the interaction. Follow us on Twitter, and then last comment.
Oh my god! Oh, that is
thanks, Jazz. Love it.
I like it.
And with that,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Have a good week. We'll talk to you soon. We're out.